Guys, there are 5 stocks that I will be buying in August of this year if the price hits the value I need it to hit. Stock number 1, Starbucks. Guys, Starbucks is getting a lot of shade, which I love. And to me, the reason is the price is at 75, all-time high of 126 was over 3 years ago now. We're on the 3-year mark, and the stock has just been going down. Now, for those of you who love dividends, 3% dividend eats up $2.5 billion of their cash flow. It's a big chunk of their 5-year cash flow, but last year they had $4 billion. They have a really high return on invested capital. This screams moat. Moat status right here. Guys, these guys get a huge return on the money invested in the business. They have 35 or 40,000 stores worldwide. Incredible company. Free cash flow. The only thing I don't like is their 5-year average free cash flow is a little bit too deviated from its 5-year net income. I can get around that though. Their 5-year PE of 25 versus their 5-year price to free cash flow of 30. So if you believe that their free cash flow is going to grow from this $3.95 billion, it's a good thing because they're only selling for 21 times free cash flow. And this is a premium company. Why is it a premium company? They have a moat. They have a high return on invested capital. Let's go check out their 8 pillars and see what the story tells us there. A little bit more debt than I'd like, but it's retail locations. I'm okay with that. I'm not worried about that for this company. So for me, it's basically a valuation perspective. The other thing I love, they weren't buying back a lot of shares when it was expensive. So hopefully Starbucks, let's say hypothetically the stock fell in half tomorrow. I want them to cancel this dividend. Yes, you heard me correctly. Cancel the dividend and buy back shares. That's going to be a better add of value to investors than paying out that dividend. All right, let's see what analysts are saying about the company. Well, look at this. 367, 416, 473, 5.6, $6.50 per share. It's selling for 12 times profit in 2028. And revenue growth, made to high single digits. It's pretty solid for a company that people are calling dead right now. And by the way, I hope you're not one of those people who calls it dead, but there are people out there who do consider it dead. So let's check out the stock analyzer tool. When was the last time I did Starbizzle? July 11th. All right, I did a 10-year analysis. My revenue growth assumptions, 4, 6, and 8%. Profit margin, 10.5, 12, 13.5%. Free cash flow, 10, 12, and 14. PE, I did 20, 22.5, 25. Same with the price of free cash flow. Guys, as you know, this is all subjective here. What do you want to pay for Starbucks? To me, the market average of 15 is too low for Starbucks. Remember, Warren Buffett paid 30 times profit when he started buying Coca-Cola back in 1987. Is this a reasonable level for Starbucks? I think if you ask 100 people in this world what the number 1 coffee brand is out there, how many would say Starbucks? That's the question I have to ask. That's how you can sit there and think about the moat there, okay? I love them because I'm not even a coffee drinker when I go to Starbucks. I like their food. I love their hot chocolate. I love these things about Starbucks, and you guys all know that there are people out there who will sit there and do anything to get their Starbucks. All right, I did my 9% return. Again, this does not involve any margin of safety. I'm just putting it there to get my sort of intrinsic value. Hit the analyze button. I have a low price of 60 to 65, high price of 135 to 140, middle price of 76. If you include the dividends, if you pay today's price, and my middle assumptions occur, look at about 12% return. Not bad. Stock number 2. This company has really gotten beaten up. PayPal. PayPal is the company I own. Starbucks I own. But remember, don't buy any company because I own it or anybody on the internet owns it. My goal on this channel is to teach a process that you apply to the things that make sense to you. Look at this fall from grace. July 26, 2021, almost exactly 3 years ago, $310 a share. If I had told you back then that the stock was going to fall 80%, what would you have thought? Paul, you crazy. And it did. Actually fell even lower. Its low was $50 just last year. It's a pretty big fall. But again, this is a company that analysts are saying is going to make almost double the money in 4 years. This company does have less users than it did last year, but the average number of transactions, the average price per transaction, the average revenue is all up and up significantly. And that's what's important for me for PayPal. This company has Venmo. Venmo is a verb. Can I Venmo you? There are literally people that I have to pay, and I tell them, go get a Venmo account because I'm not paying you another way. When it comes to buying something that I'm worried about for validity, I buy through PayPal because I know PayPal has my back. Because if you use Zelle, they do not have your back. A friend of mine, one of the people in this office, her daughter was buying a dog, and she paid through Zelle. Turned out to be a scam. She got no money back, of course. If she paid through PayPal or Venmo, but there's a reason why they weren't asked to use Venmo. So, revenue growth, more people out there, go Google it. PayPal's dead. PayPal's dead. How is a dead company growing? I don't understand this concept. Now, these analysts could be biased. Of course, they're biased. But I look at PayPal going, I like the future. They have a new CEO who seems to be very enthused about the prospects of the company. But of course, he should be. What are the 8 pillars on PayPal saying? 8-pillar thriller. Guys, look at this. This return on invested capital isn't as high as I'd like it to be, but not bad. I like the fact they're buying back shares, these cheap shares. Price to free cash flow, very low at 13. 5-year PE, 17. Net income growth. I mean, everything is up here. So to me, it just tells me the story is, do I think PayPal will be around for the foreseeable future? And do I think it will have higher revenue and profit in that future than today? The answer is yes. I like the company. I have a decision to make. So let's go to Stock Analyzer tool. Remember, guys, all of the Stock Analyzer tools, they do not include the balance sheet. It's just making assumptions about the future and telling you without the balance sheet what return you would get if you bought the stock today and what the right price for you is based on those returns you want. 4, 7, and 10% revenue growth. 12.5, 14.5, 16.5 profit margin. Free cash flow of 16, 20, and 24. Because look, their free cash flow is significantly higher than their net income. PE, I did 14, 17, and 20. Now, I put 14 in here because the ROIC is lower, even though it's getting better as it shows here. But there is a lot more competition in this area. And I put my 9% return. Now remember, to buy an individual company, you need higher than a 9% return. That's the market, 9 or 10%. So make sure you put a margin of safety in there by increasing your returns right there. Hit the analyzer key. I have a low price of 56 to 70, high price of 150 to 213, low price of 90 to 126. If you want to focus on cash flow, look at this. And these returns are 12 to 28% for the next 10 years if my assumptions occur and the company's balance sheet stays the same or gets better. I'm willing to make that bet 30 times over. If I had 30 companies that had these kind of metrics, I'd be buying all 30. That's the point of investing. You don't know on which individual company you'll be right or wrong, but if you buy a portfolio of companies that have check marks on your stock analyzer tool, you are going to do quite well, in my opinion. Now, these tools have been very useful. And if you've noticed, we are only limiting the number of daily spots for our Everything Money community and software. And the reason for that is the software it is today currently includes everything we have to offer for stocks, retirement, and real estate. Everything right here. But behind the scenes, we are making some big changes. So that current offer of everything is going away very soon. As we've grown, we've been getting feedback from our community, and they've expressed that they want us to focus on very specific aspects of the Everything Money community and software that apply to them at that moment in time. And since we don't want to be the Cheesecake Factory of software, we have decided to limit the tools offered very soon so that our users are not inundated with too many options. You'll remember, if you've been watching us from the very beginning, that this software was built selfishly for myself and my team so that we could use it to constantly make better decisions in all aspects of our money and investing. But the channel's grown, the community has grown, and since then, it's becoming less about me and more how I can better serve you and the community members. Now, the good news is these changes have not been made yet. So if you join today, you'll be grandfathered in for life. What that means is you will get all these tools for life no matter what we do behind the scenes. These will all be in you, and anything we do create, you'll be included as well. So if you're really serious about making better financial decision, increasing your returns, and sleeping better at night, click the link in the description below to get access to everything we have to offer. This will be the best decision you've made all year. Now, third stock, Disney. Let's go check out Disney. Now, this company is getting go woke, go broke, blah, 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 blah. Guys, Disney company is an incredible company. Talk about brand awareness. This company's market cap is $167 billion. I asked the question that Warren Buffett asks. If I gave you 100 billion, hell, if I gave you 167 billion, could you compete with Disney? I hate to say it, but that'd be very difficult. I know that sounds crazy to think about. That's the moat of Disney. That is how hard it is to compete with Disney. Now, they have $8.36 billion in free cash flow last year versus net income of 1.7, and the 5-year average free cash flow of 2.6 versus 1.9. What is my thesis on Disney? Well, I'm going to skip right here, and I'll show you. Before COVID, Disney did $70 billion and $60 billion in revenue. In those 2 years, they had profit of $11 billion and $12 billion. Those are 15 to 20% profit margin. What are they doing now? Last year, in the last 12 months, they did $90 billion in revenue, $1.7 billion in profit. My thesis is that their current profit margin of 2 or 3% is abnormally low. And once it gets back to normal levels, this company will explode. If they get back to, even though they get to 12%, when they do $100 billion in revenue, that's $12 billion in profit. That's my thesis there. And for a premium company like this is a company that has a lot more potential there. That is what's key to my entire thought process. I mean, look at the 8 pillars. They're junk. They're absolute junk. And the story it's telling me here is, why is a company like Disney that's been around for so long, that's so incredible, have so many X's here? Well, it's short-term problems in my opinion. That's my big opinion on Disney. Now, after COVID, they actually hit a high of $201 per share, 1 year after COVID. Isn't that incredible? Revenue's up since then, and yet the stock is down significantly. It's currently at $91 per share. In fact, over the last 5 years, it's down 36%. In the last 10 years, it's only up 16%. Now, that doesn't include their dividends, and they've been paying them. Right now, they don't have a dividend, which I'm happy about. That's the current status of them. So let's go to our stock analyzer tool and see what the company is worth to us. Guys, I did a 10-year analysis, and I did 3, 5, and 7% revenue growth. Profit margin of 9, 12, and 15. Same with free cash flow. PE. I actually think this PE is too low at 18, 21, and 24, but I'm going to keep it there with my 9% return. Analyze button, boom. I have a low price of 74, high price of 205, middle price of 128, yielding me a 13% return if these assumptions occur in the middle, based on today's price. Guys, if you can make 13% returns on Disney, wouldn't you be happy? Now, again, these are my assumptions. I want you, as a user of our software, to put your own assumptions in. And there's a reason why the stock analyzer tool gets used millions of times per year by our users. It is so valuable to give you an idea of where you stand with the company. Now, guys, the last 2 companies, Ulta and Nike, these companies, I think Ulta does a great job of appealing to women. They are smart about their growth, and they're smart about their stock repurchases. Great company, high return on invested capital. That's why I'm a buyer of Ulta. I currently own them, and I'm hoping to buy more as it falls further. Nike, great brand. I think people are calling it a dying company already because the stock is down significantly. But for me, it's a great brand, a lot of great potential. They have Jordan, they have LeBron, they have tennis, they have all these great, I just think the company is phenomenal, and I'm going to take advantage of a fall in the price. So if you want to see the 3 stocks at the 52-week low to see my analysis on Nike and Ulta, please watch this next video. Thank you for your time.